Alice, you're smiling.
Yes. Christine, it's spring. It's finally spring. Oh, the winter is melting away. Just now outside, I saw a patch of lilies waking from their frozen naps. And look, the sun is shining through the windows like a new dawn. You know what? I can finally get rid of this darn coat. I swear, it's gotten so heavy with the gloom and doom of the winter doldrums. It weighs 3,000 pounds. Ugh. I bear the burden of the world on my shoulders.
Yeah, you always have. It's good to see you smiling again, Alice. It's been too long.
It has. But look now, it's Easter weekend, a break, finally. A chance for me to, for us, and to relax. You remember when the sun disappeared in November behind that little house up there? Oh, what an unbelievably long winter.
Oh, hush, you silly thing.
Well, Christine, don't you feel like peace is on its way? I wish I could inhale this sunlight and be reborn in it.
You are a giddy creature. Now keep it down. Your mother's in the kitchen.
Christine, why did we ever come back here? We've gone far enough south. We should have just stayed put. The sun was always shining there. Why on earth did we come back to this stupid little town? It sucks the soul out of a person, Christine. Everybody here is lonely. Here is where Father's crime is, his ruined reputation.
Yes, she went to go see him today. At the prison. Now, I don't know what was talked about, only that she'd gone.
Good. Maybe she's getting some closure. He'll be out in a year, and relief will come. We can all start again.
You are such a patient sufferer. I respect that.
Christine, I'm all flaws. You can't respect that.
Yes, but you suffer from the flaws in others. That's respectable.
The lake is melting. Oh, I wish I could bathe in it and wash the sins of Father, all this mess with Father away, this whole past year away.
Well, it'll be summer soon. Hey, we're getting married. Huh? Think about that. We'll go swimming in the lake. You'll be clean as can be. You heard it all from your sister.
Oh, poor Eleonora. She makes my heart weep. She wants to come home, of course, but she keeps doing things that get her into trouble, and you know, I feel like it's my fault for having her sent to the asylum in the first place.
You blame yourself for everything, Alice. You've got to stop that. Hey, she needed help. That's where it could be gotten. That's the end on it.
Yeah, I know, I do, but feel so awful. You know, when I think about how she darkened the room when she was here, it almost gives me a sense of relief that she's gone. But isn't it terrible?
It's human.
Christine, you poor fool, have gotten wrapped up in a family as doomed as this one.
Now, why a good time, Don't tell me you're going to Peter's dinner tonight.
Why wouldn't I?
Alice, he plagiarized you in the thesis that got him the job. The job that you wanted. And forgiveness is all very well, but maybe you can wait till the little prince has been crowned. Did he actually invite you?
Oh, I hadn't really thought about how he didn't officially.
Time heals everything. So let some time pass. Benjamin will be home soon. And giving lessons brings you so much joy. Focus on that. And the sunshine, of course.
Every time I look in his face, I see the sins of my father. Him and all the other children. They were the real victims of his embezzlements after all. Those poor young victims who are now forced to take lessons from the very son of the man who robbed their families. You know, I go easier on them because of that, so what are they even learning?
The sun, Alice. Focus on the sun. And time. Not the past, not the present. Look forward.
It's gone again. Sneaky little thing. Christine, why did you leave me last year?
I can't think of a great reason. I just knew I had to.
You know, that was the worst time in my life. I felt like I was drowning. I mean, even with all this mess with father, the shame, that was the worst time.
Something was off. I don't know if it was you or me. Why do you bring that up now? Well, to torture yourself? Me? I'm here now. I am here now. The light will come again soon.
It will, won't it? Well, Mother should be coming back soon. If you see her, don't say anything. Just let her keep on living in her imaginary world where her father is a martyr and all those he sacrificed her mom.
Children, there you are. Are you having your lunch here, or should I pack it to go?
Here. Thank you.
That's my boy. Always knows what he wants and says so. Unlike some people. Have you ever noticed that, Christine? He gets it from his father, you know. His father is so blunt, it's no wonder he got into trouble. People, they don't like hearing the truth, do they? Soon his name will be cleared and all those idiots will grovel on their knees. That will be a bright day. Oh wait, I came in here to tell you something. What was it? I asked you about the food, right?
Yeah.
Right. What the hell is two? Oh! Lindquist. Well, did you hear me? Lindquist. He's back in our little town. The biggest bum of them all has come back.
Wait, he's come back here to live?
Didn't I just tell you that? He's right across the street, the devil. You know, I think I should have a little chat with him. I know a few things about him, let me tell you. You give me 10 minutes alone with him, he'll run away in shame. Wait, Alice, how did Benjamin do on his exams?
I don't know, we'll find out soon enough.
Well, that's very informative, Alice. And what about Peter? He's having his big dinner tonight, isn't he?
Yeah, Peter is well.
When will you join his new social circle, Alice?
When I can stomach it.
When you can stomach it? What kind of an answer is that? Are you going to his dinner or not?
Yes.
Then why did you tell me You know, I bet Peter isn't like that, is he? Christine, what do you think of Peter?
Well, he's a man.
He's a man.
Yeah, he's a man.
Notions you young people have. He's a man is not any kind of an answer. Oh, forget it. I'm not talking to you two. You're giving me a migraine. He's a man when I can stomach it. Good heavens.
Why did she single you out when she asked about me?
Because she's your mother. God, always stirring the pot.
And Leafist, well, he's come back here. He's our biggest creditor. We owe him everything.
Oh, you owe him nothing.
Oh, as long as we're in debt, we owe him everything.
Change your name.
No, Christine.
Oh, come on, I'm teasing you. You have got to get a sense of humor in all this, or you're going to have a heart attack.
I know. You know, I thought that our Lord and Savior suffered so that we wouldn't have to, yet here we are.
Oh, here comes Benjamin. Oh, he's been crying. Can't be a good sign.
Benjamin, you've been crying. I take it you didn't do well on your Latin exam.
Didn't do well. I failed. I just plain failed.
What? How?
I don't know, I knew all the right answers, but when I went to go configure them in my head, I just kept drawing a blank.
Well, my reputation as a teacher is fading as well.
Hey, do better next time, right? Life is long, despite what some might say.
Terminable.
I will do better next time, I promise.
Everything at once. Everything comes to a head at once.
Benjamin, will you give us a moment now, please? Ellis, you have got to get yourself together. You are a strong man, but you are letting everything eat away at you. You're going to be flesh and bone before long, nothing more.
No, Christine, I'm sorry. Maybe I can borrow some of your strength.
I have much to spare. We can see.
Christine, I'm supposed to be the one holding you up. I don't know how I let things get like this. I don't know how I let myself get like this.
Well, we will get through it together. And look at your mother. She's handling it well.
She lives in an imaginary world that she's created for herself. I wouldn't exactly call that handling it well.
Yes, but everyone deals with things differently. And I can promise you that the days go by a lot faster with a cheerful attitude.
I really should apologize to Benjamin.
Let him wallow. He does need the lesson regardless. Let's take a walk.
Look, it's Linkfist. He's come home, apparently.
What? Don't pay him any attention. Come on. Let's
Just
we
look
just
at
free
his
for all to say our
smug
prayers.
face. Look at how it towers over the street like a looming shadow of what's to come.
Alice, don't stare.
He's come here to take everything from us. You know that, right? And he has so carefully placed himself directly in our path. Well, he will see to it that he gets exactly what he wants.
Come on, let's go run away.
If only. It's actually kind of amusing from far away. Look how he leans on that stick as if he were injured and needed for support.
Well, is he pointing it at our gate?
Yes. And the car's in the driveway, so he knows we're home. What? No, he's talking to that stranger about us, probably. Shaking that damn stick. Why do people in power always carry a stick?
Alice, if he does come over, You have to stop your mother from talking to him. And she mouths off half as much to him as she does to us. And we'll all pay for it.
What am I supposed to do if he does come over? Put up no fight? Simply say, here you are, you monster. Everything that was once ours is now yours. Take it all.
Well, there's not much else to say. Well, I'd probably leave out the monster.
Christine, this isn't funny. If only he would just come over and deal with the matter one way or the other. Oh, that damn stick. And he wears those shiny shoes that squeak when he walks. Can you hear him? Squeak, 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 like little rats. You know, they always have shoes like that, people in power. And that car! Christine, look, it's the color of flesh taken from a neighbor as payment. Can't need money that badly with a car like that. You know, they always have cars like that, people in power. Do you think the car companies created a color called I1 just for them? Well, there he goes, back into his little hole. Squeak, 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 little rat shoe. Christine, you're laughing again.
I can't help it.
You are so entertaining when you're miserable. Come on. Let's focus on more immediate things. Are you going to Peter's dinner tonight or not?
Well, I wasn't invited, so no.
Good. I'll two on myself then. Best luck.
Here, take my hand. In case we have to test that strength theory.
Okay. Come on. We can even take the back door in case of roving monsters. What?
Still hear his squeaky shoes.
They're not.
Well, you're going to want milk if you want cookies later. Benjamin, come back here and get your food. Now, you want cookies, don't you?
Yes, I do. Although not with nuts. I'm allergic to nuts.
Yes, I know. You're allergic to nuts and shellfish and life. Don't worry, plain old chocolate chip for you. Now, you go study and eat your lunch. You need to grow or something.
Okay.
Thank God for church pews, no faces who won't forget you. When you're lost out in this crazy world, find somewhere to go and get out.
Do you know what this one is? Well, it's easy. It's an Easter lily.
Who are you?
Well, that depends on who you are.
Oh, I'm Benjamin. I live in this house temporarily with Mr. Heist, Ellis Heist. I'm his student.
I'm his sister.
No one said he had a sister.
Well, people don't like to speak of the dead.
Of the dead?
But to the outside world, I am dead, for I've committed a sin against mankind. Well, I've stolen and spent some funds, though they were not honestly gotten in the first place, but I'm not one to judge. And so I've stolen and spent them, and my father has been blamed and put in prison, and that can never be forgiven.
You speak so weirdly. But like a good weird. Do you live in this house?
Well, humans should not be confined but freed.
Is that so?
It is. So you're a charity pupil. Here because your family's fortune was swindled away.
Yeah, by your father.
You must not use harsh language with me or I will fade away. I'm sensitive to harshness and cannot bear the torture of its sounds. But I will confess, it's my fault that you're miserable. I have stolen from you, for my father and I are one being, and so what has been done to you has been done by me.
Whoa.
Did you fail my Latin test? Because that's why I'm miserable. Not from living here.
Is failing a test really something to be so awfully upset about? Rod and punishment bring wisdom, and he who hates punishment.
I thought I would pass. That's all.
And that is exactly why you failed. Because you were so sure that you wouldn't. Pride cometh before a fall.
Do you read the Bible?
Yes?
No. I mean, are you a believer?
Yes, I am. I mean that I am.
How old are you?
Well, I haven't any age. In my world, there is no time. I am everywhere and nowhere, and I'm everyone and no one. Well, I am me here with you. I am my father suffering in his cell. I am my brother walking with his fiancée. And I'm a lonely giant cleaning my boots. And now, Benjamin, you are the youngest of my friends. Well, all beings are my friends. But now that you're my friend, I shall suffer for you too.
I honestly can't tell if you're being serious or not. But I like you. So. What do we do now?
But first, you must promise me that you will stop judging others, even those that have committed crimes.
You see, I've studied philosophy, so I need to know the reasons for the crimes first.
Well, you studied philosophy, have you?
Hmm.
Well, then maybe you can help me explain this quote, taken from a great philosopher. Those that hate the righteous, they shall be sinners.
Oh, okay, yeah. In this case, it means that one can be doomed to commit sin, and
There is
that...
no greater crime than the punishment itself.
You got me. Where did you read that quote?
That's from scripture.
Really? There's philosophy in the Bible.
You're a silly little thing. But I don't believe there's any wickedness in you. Well, I can only see light.
Thank you.
No, Benjamin. Don't ever thank me. Remember. Ah! Okay. Oh, my father's in pain. Oh, they're hurting him. Listen, do you hear that? Do you hear what the telephone wires are wailing? Awful, mean things that the thin, soft copper cannot bear. When human beings hurt one another with their words or their actions, the metal burns red with pain. And every word is written in the book, and at the end of time will come the reckoning.
Are you all right?
Well, no. I can't dare to be all right. Do you see this? People are so foolish as to leave their secrets right in that basket. It's always the first place I look. Will you read this to me?
Really?
It's a note to Christine from Peter asking her to meet him tonight.
I wondered about that.
And what have you wondered, little you, who only assumes the worst of people? Christine is going to be my sister soon, and so I am her as well. And this note can mean no harm, so say nothing, do you promise me?
Of course. It was never any of my business to begin with, and it wasn't any of yours. Why did you go snooping through that desk?
Well, you see, that's my sickness. I have to know absolutely everything. And I even know what the birds say.
Well, birds don't talk, so.
Well, haven't you ever heard of a parrot?
Okay, that's different. A parrot is taught to talk.
Well, either way, a parrot can talk. Whether it taught itself and mimicked us, or whether it learned from us, who can say? So birds can talk. Have you ever wondered why the nightingales, who sing so beautifully, only nest near the asylum in town?
I have wondered that, yeah.
It's because those who speak without hearing cannot hear what is said in silence. And those who live in silence can hear all that is spoken.
I think there's truth in that, yeah.
Well, of course there is. Now, shall I tell you about the flowers as well?
Yes, of course. I mean, your lessons are way more enjoyable than your brother's. And I mean that only in fun, so don't, fade away.
I know your intent. Now listen. When I was sick, I had to take henbane, which is a plant that produces a drug that can magnify the eyes. So now I can see farther than a human can. I can see the stars in the daylight.
Stars can be seen in the daylight?
With my magnifying eye, yes. Look up and tell me if you can see them.
I can't.
Then learn this, if nothing else, that one person can see what another cannot. Now, let me tell you about that Easter lily. It absorbs the sunlight, which is what gives it that pure color, and it has the power to ease pain. I wanted to buy it for Ellis because he's been hurting so much. But when I got to the florist shop, it was closed. Confirmation day, of course. But I wanted it so badly that I tried my house key in the lock. And because God has given me these gifts, it worked. So I went into the shop and I peered deep down into the flowers, into their hearts, where only my magnifying eye can see. And I saw all of their sorrows and pains, things that the thoughtless florist had put them through. And I say thoughtless, not cruel, but there's a world of difference. And so I took the flowers and left some money on the counter with a slip of paper in my name.
Well, that wasn't very smart. I mean, what if what if the money blows away or something? And then they'll think that the flowers were stolen. Everything in this town is a scandal.
Well, I hadn't thought of that.
And what if they find your name but no money? Then they'll think that you stole them.
No, no one would think that of me. No. Like father, like daughter. It is Easter. We should suffer.
No, that's not what I meant.
When we expect light, we receive darkness, and when we open the door for good, we allow evil in. Tell me about your childhood, Benjamin.
There's not much to tell. Tell me about yours.
Well, I didn't have a childhood. I was born old. Whenever I learned anything, it was simply like remembering.
I felt that way before. Do you know why I fear that the money will get lost at the florist?
Why?
Because the worst always happens.
Well, you've noticed that too. Well, Ellis is coming back. Now, Benjamin, you must be cheerful and meet my brother with grace and goodwill, and you mustn't say anything about me. I don't want to make him unhappy. Promise me.
I promise.
And now you are my dear brother too. God bless and keep you.
Take those shoes.
I already put it away this morning. There's no turning back. I was on a roll. Mother!
Thought I heard people talking. What's wrong, Ellis?
We ran into our lawyer on our walk. Father's case is being moved to another court, so he's being retried, apparently. Which means that I have to go through all the paperwork all over again.
You've done it before. It shouldn't be that difficult.
The thought of going through all those papers and reading the witness testimonies and the accusations and all the horrible things that they said about him, about us. No, this is too much.
Alice, surely a new court will acquit him, so it won't be in vain.
Mother, he confessed.
The lawyer said there might be a loophole if he were to be tried again. So I want you to find it.
He only said that to make you feel better.
Aren't you going out?
No.
See, Christine? He never knows what he wants. I wouldn't get too comfortable.
Where'd that flower come from, Benjamin?
A girl brought it by?
A girl? What girl?
This magical young girl. She thought it might cheer you up, Mr. Heist.
Was it my sister? So, has Eleanor come home?
I'm not supposed to say.
You are glowing. You're so cheerful.
She said such nice things.
Did she? Then she wasn't mad at me?
No, not at all, actually. She's really worried about you. She's waiting upstairs.
But I thought you weren't supposed to say. What did she say to you that's got you so happy?
We just talked about things. Like birds and flowers and religion. I don't know, she just made me feel better. About everything.
How sad. Poor Eleanor, who is so shrouded in darkness, can bring such light to somebody. Good Friday, or Long Friday, as it's called in some places. It seems even longer by the silence. Everything is hushed by a blanket of snow in the street as if to soften the tread of the dying.
Mother's gone out. You think she went to mass?
Oh, no, she doesn't go to church anymore. And the way people stare and talk behind her back, she won't show it, but it hurts.
What a bunch of hypocrites. And judge not, lest ye be judged. And yet, because of one person's mistake, the entire family is ostracized in public opinion. What gave them the right to supersede the Lord? I just don't know.
Look at that.
Thick as thieves after a day. How wonderful to be so young and careless.
Eleonora is so peaceful and calm. If only it would last.
Well, why wouldn't it?
Well, good things never last, Christine. Haven't we learned that by now?
You are such a sourpuss. Look at them.
Yeah. He does have quite an effect on me.
So cheerful. And grown up, too. Don't you think? It's all her doing.
She's changed mother, too. Have you noticed? She doesn't pick at us quite as much. She smiles. I even heard her humming while making breakfast this morning.
You think she's getting better? Maybe your sister's cured.
She's still so sensitive. She cries when she reads the Bible.
Yes, well, sensitivity is a family trait.
You just brushed her hand. Oh, do you think it's love? I mean, do you think at that age?
Don't touch the wings of a butterfly. They'll fly away.
Back to the legal papers. You know, I'm only doing this anymore just to keep Mother's hope alive, but I'm hardly even reading them. Every so often, a sentence will stick out and stab you like a thorn. Ugh. That's how awful people were. You know, the witness testimonies, the accusations, Father's confession. Yeah. Oh, here. Like this. The accused admitted with tears. Oh, God, tears. So many tears. And these official papers with their seals, I mean, public opinion is forever marred. This is exactly what I want to be doing on Good Friday. You know, the worst part about it is how they say Father had an eccentric way of living. I mean, they go on and on talking about these extravagant dinner parties, and go so far as to call him an alcoholic. I mean, did you ever see a party like that? It's too much.
There is an unusual strain of melancholy in your family, Alice.
That's why only melancholy people will be our friends. Happy people will avoid us at all costs.
I'm happy.
Good evening, children. Oh, Alice, why do you look so despondent? Smile.
Good evening, Mother.
Good evening, Mother.
Snow is turning to sleet. It's warming up again outside. It's still freezing in here. Are you cold, Eleanor, dear? Oh, well, all right. Look at you two. You're reading and studying together. Benjamin, be careful not to keep her up too late. Do you understand? Oh, my child. So angelic.
Mother,
So-
have you been to Mass?
No. They have a new pastor who speaks so poorly, I avoid it. I did go down near the church to pray on my own.
Oh, did you run into anyone you knew?
Well, of course, I wouldn't be a heist if I didn't cross some misfortune.
Was it Linkfist?
Yes.
Ugh.
Can you imagine? I thought I'd have all kinds of things to say to him, but he walked right up to me to ask how I was. To ask how I was, the nerve! Of course, I was speechless. Then he wanted to know if he might stop by for a visit tonight.
It's a holy night.
I know! But I couldn't find my voice, and I just stood there numb. I fear he may have taken my silence as an acceptance of his offer. He said he had some kind of a paper or a note he wanted to drop by.
A warrant for the furniture.
His demeanor was so odd, though, Ellis. He wasn't exactly menacing, but he was far from kind.
Let him take it. Let him take it all. The furniture, the cutlery, the roof. He has the law on his side, and we have seen what happens when we fight the law.
He can't take the furniture, Ellis. Where would we sit? People cannot live in empty rooms.
And the mother, the foxes live in holes, and birds make nests out of twigs. Homeless people sleep in the streets.
That might be perfectly fine for bad people. That is not the way that honest people live. Now, have you found that loophole or whatever it was the lawyers
Mother,
spoke
I'm
about?
afraid there just isn't one.
Oh, but there must be. Look more carefully, Alice, please. At least try.
Mother, did you run into anyone else while you were out? Maybe someone pleasant?
In this town? No, all the pleasant people have fled south.
Yeah, south.
I did run into Stella Kosick on my way, though. She told me all about a burglary that happened just yesterday
A burglar? Where?
at the florist on Cloister Street. Oh, but the whole thing is strange. Supposedly, the florist closed his shop because his son, or was it his daughter? No, I think it was his son. Oh, never mind, it doesn't matter. He had to go to a confirmation. And when he got back, the door was open and flowers were missing. Among them, a bunch of tulips, which apparently are his favorite. Now, why can I remember that and not the sex of his child?
They were tulips, right? Not an Easter lily?
No, they were tulips, as I just said. Honestly, to go and rob a place on a holy day. This whole town, it must be filled with thugs and hoodlums, and that's why innocent people get thrown in jail. There's no justice.
Well, do they have a suspect?
No. Oh, but this is very strange. The thieves took only flowers and no cash. Hoodlums, the whole bunch of them, and not very smart ones at that.
Oh, this is the longest Friday.
Oh, and Alice, guess what else?
There's more?
Oh, stop that! The governor attended Peter's dinner last night.
What? I thought Peter hated the governor. He disagrees with all of his politics.
Well, you young people, you change so easily.
Peter is a suitable name for him, all right.
Well, don't be jealous. I understand he gave quite a speech.
Oh yeah? Oh, I imagine it went something like, I know not this man, and again the car crew. The governor's name, Pontius Pilate.
Don't be so bitter. Humans are weak, and we must share space with them.
Shh. I hear Lindqvist coming.
How can you hear him in all the
Oh,
snow?
I can hear that stick hitting the sidewalk and his shiny shoes squeaking on the ice.
Well, good. I'm going to have a talk with him. There are some things I want to say.
Mother, please, just let me handle it.
Fine. Just don't screw it up. God, why have you forsaken us?
You know, I can't tell which is more real. Her bigotry, her ignorance, or her passion for her children. She is master and mistress sometimes.
He's stopped again. Damn him! Why does he talk to us like this? I either come to the door or stay home. Oh, just the thought of that warrant. He's gonna come here and take all the furniture, and then the landlord will ask me for a security deposit, which I can't provide.
And we will figure it out!
Good. Look at that giant shadow. You know, Christine, sometimes I think of him as less of a man and more of a giant who eats children.
Well, thoughts like that will get you through.
He's just looming there. You know, Christine, it's a good thing that I didn't go to that dinner last night. I'd have made some speech opposing the governor and caused all sorts of trouble for us. Thank you for your advice. You really do know your friend Peter.
Mine.
Why is he still there? Oh, that giant shadow, the shadow that wants to swallow its horse.
Alice, you have got to laugh. You are afraid of a fairy tale monster.
Oh, no, I refuse to laugh.
Look at that stick. You will laugh. I need to talk to you about something.
What?
I need to talk to you about something. Now you can see into my heart. You know my intentions. They're good. I need to ask.
Okay, what is it?
It's a test. Can you please see it as a test?
Fine, tell me.
Let me go to the recital tonight.
Recital, what recital?
The one at the cathedral.
With?
Alice.
And?
With Peter.
Peter. Christine, we have
I can't explain.
Without any explanations or conditions, I shall endure the test.
We'll be fine. We'll see. Oh.
Wait, why are you going out the back way?
Oh, I have to grab my coat.
I will know.
Goodbye.
My friend.
What have I done? The police are onto a suspect, I'm sure, and if they find out about that Lily, they'll send me back there. But no, I mustn't be selfish. I must think of my family.
Eleanor, just tell them that I did it.
Do you have it in you to make another's guilt your own?
It's easy to claim guilt when you're actually innocent.
To be false is to sin. No, I did the wrong and must be punished. If only time would go by faster. Come on, clock, move. See now, 8. Now 9. 10. 11. 12. Midnight. Easter Eve. Well, soon it'll be time to color eggs.
You can make time fly, can't you?
Time. Just think, Benjamin, how the violets have had to endure this winter.
How miserable they must be.
Night is the hardest for them. They're afraid of the darkness. They can't run away, so they must sit there the whole long winter night waiting for spring, which is their dawn. Everyone and everything must suffer, but the flowers suffer most. And poor Alice, who thinks that Christine has left him when I know she'll return.
Then why didn't you just tell them that, if you know for sure?
Because it was Good Friday, and we all must suffer on Good Friday, Alice too, so that we can remember what it is we have to be grateful for. Look, everything is just as it should be.
And what about tomorrow? When that man comes to take everything?
Well, then we will be free. Let him take it all, so that we will be thrust out onto the earth. New spirits walking on new souls, breathing the air through new lungs, learning the language of the birds. We would be free to roam where we see fit with the nightingales or the lilies, and we can thaw the violets and take them along. We can learn the songs of the stars and follow the path with bruised feet and hearts, upward, always upward. Which is why it is called the high road.
You make running away sound amazing. But could we really live like that?
You know though, well, it'll be hardest to part with this clock. It marked the moment of my birth and has kept time through all my years. It ticks to the rhythm of a heartbeat, so it sounds just like a heart. They say it stopped the day my grandfather died. But perhaps it'll start again soon. And there's new blood in its veins. This clock used to speed up whenever we had misfortune to help us get through the days faster. And then when we were happy, it would slow down to let us marvel in that happiness. And we had another clock, but it was an evil clock. And it did just the opposite. And also it hated music. Well, don't laugh, it did! It would stay silent all day long, only to chime loudly once Alice played piano or I would sing. So it now hangs in the kitchen as punishment and only keeps time for baking, which is why our cakes are dry and our bread uncooked. Well, you're laughing again.
You say literally the weirdest stuff I've ever heard. So I can't so serious all the time?
Well, I like you best when you're serious, if that matters to you at all.
Do you think that this too shall pass?
Well, of course. It always does. Even now, I can smell the snow thawing. Tomorrow, violence will burst through the winter and face south defiantly. And I can breathe the air of lifted heavens. Benjamin, come to the window. I want God to see us.
I've been here, missing you. Where have you been?
Well, I went down the street to save these flowers from the cold. They were frozen and needed help.
It is so cold out today. Not a trace of sunlight.
Well, it's just hiding behind the clouds waiting for the day to pass.
Has the paper come?
No.
Children, has the paper come in yet?
No.
This is your bag.
Have you two seen the paper?
No, it hasn't come yet.
Well, make sure I'm the first to know when it arrives.
We will.
Thank you.
Paper. I wish the print shop would close or the editor would get sick. Well, no, I mustn't say those things. Listen, Benjamin. Do you hear that? The telephone wires are singing. The paper is out now, and everyone's calling each other saying, "Have you heard? Can you believe? Like father, like daughter." It's awful.
What is so awful?
Everything. Look at Alice and Christine. They love each other, but both are blind and have let ice freeze their hearts. They carry winter with them when they walk into a room, and all because Christine went to a recital last night?
My brother is jealous.
You mustn't use that word. What do we know but except that it brings sorrow and disease? One must never invite disease in, for then it will never leave. Look at Alice. How different he is since going through those papers.
The lawsuit? Yeah, he does seem to have taken on a new kind of melancholy.
Those papers. They have let disease and evil creep into Alice, and now he's a different person. I wish I could just burn them, so full of harshness and cruelty. Benjamin, you must always avoid things that are evil and unclean, both with lips and with hands.
see into everything. I wish I could see into things like you can.
Benjamin. With Christine in her own cold world and Alice enclosed in disease, do you know what will happen if they find out about that Lily? They'll send me back there.
You still haven't even told me where you're from. Where?
Where there's no sound, but the walls whispering sins. Where there's no sunlight nor shadow, only being. Where I spent a year of my life, it's more torture than prison.
Where could you have been that's even worse than prison?
In prison, one is at least heard before being sent away. In that place, no one is heard and no one speaks. Poor flower. Poor little flower that caused all of this. I meant only well. I meant so well. And look what has become of it.
Children, we have no paper. Would you excuse me for a moment, please? I need to speak to Mother. Mother!
What is it?
I just spoke with somebody from the asylum. They demand her return.
No. No, absolutely not. I refuse. She is my child. A child of sorrow has found happiness. Her mania it has turned to calm, which she shares with others. Sane or not, she's found wisdom. She knows how to carry life's burdens better than I do, better than all of us. And who's to say what's sane and what isn't anyway? Am I sane? I have insisted that my husband's innocent even though he confessed and was convicted. And you, Alice, are you sane? You have a woman who appears to love you unconditionally, and yet you mope about as though she despises you. Who are we to say?
Mother, she went out with Peter last night. How am I in the wrong here?
She went out with your knowledge and approval. Alice, if you insist on believing she's concealing things from you, then you alone must deal with the consequences. Oh, good, the paper. Thank you. You're welcome.
No, not yet. No, I'm afraid of the worst.
God damn it, Alice, the worst has happened so many times already. If you knew my life, if you had seen what I have seen. I watched as your father went out. I was right here, unable to warn anyone about what was happening. I had to sit quietly on the side, often feeling like an accomplice. I knew what he was doing, but I was bound by marriage and fate. What was I supposed to do? You know, I could have been charged right alongside him had the judge not been kind.
You know what? I never understood what brought Father to do what he did.
He was too proud. Pride cometh before a fall. Now give me the paper. Well, it's front page news that flowers are missing. Is there nothing more exciting in this town? Oh, Alice. Didn't I tell you that it was tulips that had gone missing? Here it says an Easter lily.
Eleonora.
Oh, God. What are they going to say about us now? What are they... No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't steal something, not my child.
the asylum or jail. She's going to disgrace this family.
Alice, you be kind to your sister. She may be lost, but she is not lost forever. Now we can ask her plainly about this without accusation. Do not let your own misery spill onto her. Eleonora, come here, please.
Ellie, where did you get that flower?
I took it from the florist.
So it's true?
No, I didn't steal it. I left money for it.
Oh, well, then you paid for it. Yes, you see, Alice?
Sort of. I left the money on the counter.
Well,
I meant well, don't you believe me?
Yes, of course, but they don't know that. I mean, the money could have been lost, or...
So I must suffer for this too.
no, we will.
Let it be. What shall be will be.
Don't believe her.
Hello.
You know that she believes that she's responsible for all the world's sins. And mine. I took the flower.
No, I took it. Benjamin.
I'll go to the police. I'll confess.
No, I'll go.
So which one of you am I supposed to believe?
What an idiot. Eleanor, come here.
Mother, what is it? You held me so tight. You haven't held me in years.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was the florist. Apologizing. He found your money and note under the rug. My child, you have come home and you are going to stay home here with me.
Benjamin, why did you want to take the phone from me?
Because I like you. I like you a lot, and it just hurts me to see you in pain. You don't deserve that.
Shh! You're complete fist. No, let him come. I am going to greet him at the door with a smile.
Alice, don't irritate him. You do know that you do that, you know. Now listen, Providence has placed our destiny in his hands. And he who humbleth himself shall be exalted. And he who exalteth himself, well, you know what happens to him. Come on, children.
Mr. Linkfist, come in. Please mind the stairs.
Of course. Good evening, Mr. Heist.
You can call me Ellis. Please have a seat. Mr. Linkfist, how may I help you?
Last night I sent word with your mother to notify you of my intended visit, but after thinking about it and realizing that it was a holy evening, I decided not to come, as my visit is not of a social nature, and I do not discuss business on a holy evening.
Well, thank you for that.
Don't get too excited. Do you know the governor?
I'm familiar with the governor, but I don't know him personally.
Then soon you shall be. Anyway, I had a conversation with him recently about your father, and the governor was kind enough to give me this piece of paper, which I will set down and ask you not to look at until we are quite done.
Why do you bring this to me? Why not just send it to the creditors and have this business squared away with faster?
Minds of the youth, you're always in a hurry. Now you see, That piece of paper that I've set down?
Yes.
Good. Then it shall remain there, untouched for the moment. Listen, my young friend, once upon a time, in a town not unlike this one, I came to find my money gone. I was, as you can imagine, in a very poor temper about it. So I sat down and I wrote you a very courteous letter, asking you how much time you needed. And you saw fit to reply with a very uncourteous note. You treated me like a thief and a nuisance, like a plunderer of widows and children. But I am a gentle and judicious giant, and so I replied with a simple and yet, again, very courteous note, but I digress. If I choose, I could have that notarized, get things moving. If I choose, which I don't, not yet.
Mr. Lindquist, please, everything that we have is yours, so take what you want. I only want justice.
I don't care too much about things right now. Is your mother home? Does she want justice as much as you do?
Yes, of course. It's only my father who thinks that he's above the law.
Is that so? Well, my well-educated friend, you do realize that if justice were really to be served, your mother would be in prison as well? She knew it was criminal activity, and yet she said nothing. In the eyes of the law, that makes her an accomplice. What do you think about that?
You said you were a gentle giant, so please let's handle this business, you and I, and leave my mother out of it.
It's not too late to file charges either. But here is another blue piece of paper. Don't you like this color? Such a calming shade. You'll notice it's not official yet. Both are written, neither are notarized.
Poor mother. As he sows, so shall he reap.
Yes, my young advocate of justice, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. It's how life works. Now, if I were to ask myself this question, do you, Joseph Lindquist, born in poverty, do you have the right at your age to deprive yourself and your children of the support which you have earned through hard work and denial of things I may have wanted for myself, saved penny by penny? What are you to do, Joseph Lindquist, if you want justice? You've plundered no one, and yet if you resent being plundered, you cannot stay in this town, as no one would want to speak to the terrible creature who wants his own hard-earned money returned. This is where we stand. I am a monster for wanting what is owed to me. But I am also a man who understands family. So where is the line drawn? I'll tell you the answer. There is a grace greater than justice, and it is mercy.
Mr. Lindquist, you have the law on your side, so take what you want.
I may have the law on my side, but I don't necessarily want to use it.
I will think then of your children and make no complaints.
Good. Then we'll go a step further.
I'm sorry, but you haven't yet answered whether or not Mother will be charged.
Always in a hurry. We'll go a step further first. You do not know the governor personally?
No, and I don't care to.
Don't say that. The governor and your father were good friends when they were younger. He just wishes to see and to know you. You see? As you sow and so forth, they mean everything. Everything. Will you go and see him?
No.
But he is a powerful man.
Mr. Lindquist, I will not discuss politics. Let's move on, please.
No. You must speak courteously to me, as I am defenseless. You have public opinion on your side, whereas I only have justice on mine. What have you got against the governor? Well, he doesn't like this and that, what some people might call pleasure. But that belongs to his eccentricities. We needn't necessarily respect his eccentricities, but we can overlook them. Hold fundamental facts as human beings, and in the crisis of human life, we must swallow each other, flesh and bone. Will you go and see him?
No, I will not.
Are you really so stubborn? That is too bad. Too bad. Now I must go at things from the other end. A malicious person has threatened to take legal action against your mother.
Oh, please, man.
Will you go and see the governor?
No.
Then you are the most miserable creature I've ever met in my entire life. Fine, then I will go and see your mother.
Wait, wait.
Will you go and see the governor?
Yes.
Once more with feeling!
Yes, I will go and see the governor.
Then we can say goodbye to this piece of paper. Did your worries on the matter? Your mother is in the clear. But that was number one. Number two, you see, if we only meet each other halfway on these things, then we only have half the distance to travel. Number two, that is my claim on your home. Make no mistake, I cannot willingly give away my family's savings and property. I must have what is owed to me, down to the penny.
Yes, of course. I understand.
Yes, I can see that you do. I can also see what you think of me. I've shown a small crack of kindness. The giant of the mountains who scares children, but he doesn't eat them. Huh? How's this for a scare? Every piece of furniture must come out, and I have the warrant in my hand. And if it isn't enough, then you go away to prison, where neither the stars nor the sun shine. Yes, I can eat widows and children when I'm pissed off. And as for public opinion, I'll leave that to the heavens. I only have to move to change public opinion. Now, you have a friend named Peter. He's a student of yours, but you wanted him to be a sort of a prophet. Peter was faithless. He crowed twice, didn't he? Human nature is as uncertain as things in the dark. Peter was faithless. I won't deny it. I won't defend him either. Not in that. But the heart of mankind is fathomless. And there is always some gold to be found. Peter was a faithless friend, but he was a friend nonetheless.
How's that?
Peter has done you a great service. As he sows, so shall he reap. It's true in everything. You believe me?
Do I have a choice?
I can just squeeze the pride and malice out of you. But I digress. Again. As I said, Peter has done you a great service.
I want nothing from him.
Now you listen to me. Peter had an audience with the governor to ask for your mother's freedom. What do you think about that, Mr. Snotty Pants? Therefore, you must write and thank Peter. Promise me that.
Not any other man in the world, but not him.
Then we are back to squeezing. How much money do you have in your account?
What does that have to do with anything? I'm not responsible for my father's debts. What the family has is yours, but leave what's mine alone. I had nothing to do with it.
Nothing at all. Really? Did you not eat and drink and laugh in this very house while my children's money was being spent to feed you? Well then, not so smug. Therefore, you must write a check from that account for the entire amount that is owed. All of it. And make it out to me, and do so now.
I don't have enough. I mean, it won't be enough.
So then you'll have to borrow the rest. Every penny, after all.
That's all that I have. It is my future, it's my past. Everything I have belongs to you, but it won't be enough.
So then you'll have to borrow the rest.
I can't bring myself to do that.
Yes! You will! Get a loan!
Nobody would willingly make a loan to a heist.
Fantastic! Then accept my counteroffer. Thank Peter.
I want nothing to do with Peter.
You are the most self-righteous, ridiculous piece of... You can with a simple courtesy. Save your mother's home and your fiancé's happiness, and you won't do it. You cannot be that shallow. There must be something more. Why do you hate Peter? Oh. You're jealous of him. All right. This is where we are. Pride cometh before a fall. Did you read the paper?
She paid for the flowers.
Did you read the entire paper?
Not the entire paper, no.
So you didn't read the section of engagement announcements? It's no wonder a cloud hangs over you. You focus on the negative. You see, in the paper, there's an entire section that is devoted to people in love. If you had read today's announcements, you would have seen that your friend Peter is now engaged. And to whom do you think he is engaged?
I have no idea.
You didn't. A young woman named Alice. Does that sound familiar? You see, according to the paper, for I read things in full and therefore no details, it happened at a recital last night. I can see you are familiar. Well, Peter has a friend who helped him arrange the entire thing. Now, that friend wasn't you, but I'll bet you can guess who that friend was.
Christine. But why need there be so much secrecy about it?
Well, I'm sorry. Is it written somewhere that everyone in love must run it past you first?
So for Peter's happiness, I had to suffer.
Yes! You did! Just as others have had to suffer for your happiness. Your mother, your father, your fiancé, your sister, your friends. I'm in a storytelling mood. Pay attention, you might learn something. It was about 30 years ago when I first came to this town, as a boy, mind you. I was alone, unknown. I didn't have a single acquaintance. I came here looking for work. I had $1. $1. Well, the night I arrived, it was dark. It was raining. I didn't know of a cheap hotel, and so I would ask passers-by if they knew of one, and, well, no one stopped. Took me for a beggar, most likely. At the height of my despair, a young man stopped and he asked why I was crying. Evidently, I was crying. Well, I told him of my need, and he turned from his course, and he took me to a hotel, and he comforted me with kind words. Well, as we entered the hotel, I tripped. I fell into the glass door, shattering it. Such a giant as I am, the furious owner grabbed me and he shook me and he threatened that if I didn't pay for the door, he would call the police. Can you imagine my agony? Well, the unknown man, he had seen the entire thing, and he protested, and he called the police and explained that a man was your father. So you see, because he's so shall you be. And so, for your father's sake, I forego everything that is owed to me. So take this paper and keep your check. And since you find it difficult to say thanks, and since I find it painful to be thanked, I'll go. Go now. Relieve your mother's worries. Go! Children, well, come here. Don't be afraid. Do you know who I am? I am the giant of the mountains. Ah! No, I'm not dangerous. Eleonora, come here. Come here, child. Oh, my word. You have your father's eyes, deep and blue like the ocean in the sky. Listen to me. Your father was a good man. He was just weak, that's all. Here.
Well, you say kind things about father. Can anyone speak kindly about him now?
Oh, I can. Ask your brother.
So you haven't come to hurt us?
Oh, no, that wouldn't be very kind. It's quite the opposite, as a matter of fact.
So you come to help us?
Well, my child, I cannot help your father in his sentence. And I cannot help Benjamin with his Latin. These things just aren't for me. But everything else has already been helped. There's nothing more. Everything is equal and fair. However, now, listen, everything in life comes with a price. And so for this help, I need you to help me.
Well, of course, but what can I do?
What is the date?
The 20th?
The 20th. All right, then by the 24th, I need you to make sure that your brother goes to see the governor and writes a letter to Peter. Promise me that.
Is that all?
That's quite enough, I assure you. Now, it's very important that he does this, or the giant of the mountains will return and say, "Ah!"
But does the giant have to, scare children?
Yes. That's what children learn to be good.
The giant was right, Benjamin. Thank you, you giant.
I think you should call me Mr. Giant.
Well, Mr. Giant is still not a name.
Very insightful child. Farewell, dear ones.
would go by faster. April, May, June, and the sun is shining on them all. And now you must thank God who has helped us to the sunlight.
Can I say my thanks in silence?
You can. For now the clouds have parted and all things can be heard up there.